Chapter 21. The sound of a vehicle pulling into my driveway the next morning surprised me. Devon had left for work, and Gavin was sitting in the kitchen with me. At the unexpected noise he stood, instantly alert for any signs of danger. "Hang back while I see who it is," I said. "Remember, most of my family doesn't know about shifters, and they wouldn't understand why you're here." He nodded and followed me toward the front of the house, but stopped outside the doorway, staying out of sight. Stepping into the living room, I could see Brittany's car in the driveway, and my sister headed for the door. "It's my sister." I turned back towards him. "Why don't you go in one of the bedrooms while I see what she wants?" I heard him move, and the slight squeak of the door's hinges while I waited for her to knock before answering the door. "Hi." I greeted her with a smile on my face. "I wasn't expecting to see you this morning." "I know, but we have a lot to do." She came inside. "What do you mean?" "Your wedding is less than 2 weeks away and you don't have a dress yet." I hung my head, groaning. "You're gonna make me go dress shopping, aren't you?" "It's a tough job, but someone has to do it." She looked me up and down. "But you can't wear that." I looked down at the baggy, mismatched sweats and sighed. "I guess I'll go change." "Have a seat, or help yourself to something to drink. I'll be back in a minute." On my way to the bedroom, I saw Gavin peek out of the guest bedroom, his brows lifted in question. I waved at him to come into the bedroom with me. I closed the door behind us and went to the closet, pulling out clothes as I spoke softly so Brittany wouldn't hear. "She wants to take me dress shopping. I don't think there'll be trouble, but I'll leave it up to you how to cover us. If you stay outside the shop, you shouldn't be noticed." I took my clothes into the attached bathroom and changed before going back to Brittany and leaving with her, leaving Gavin to follow. While Britt drove, I sent Devon a message, letting him know that I was out with Britt and that Gavin was somewhere behind us. We were pulling into a parking lot at the first stop when I got a reply from him. He said to stay in town. If we needed to go to Tucson or Phoenix to find a dress, let him know. He'd arrange for someone to make the trip with us. I sent him back a quick okay and headed inside with Brittany. We spent more than 2 hours looking at what seemed like every dress in the store, the ones that I could wear or could be altered to fit me. I didn't find anything I loved. I found a few that were all right on the hangers, but what few there were didn't look nearly as good once I tried them on. At the next shop, I looked at the few gowns they had in stock and several more styles in a catalog that the woman swore they could have delivered within the week, but nothing stood out. I was disheartened and hungry as we walked out of the second shop. I didn't want to have to go out of town for a dress if I didn't have to, especially with so little time before the wedding. Without my having to ask, Brittany stopped for food, and we were just sitting down when Rain walked in and sat down at our table. "What have the two of you been up to today?" He slid into the bench seat beside me. "Shopping," Brittany chirped. "Who better to lead the charge?" He teased. "We've been looking for a dress for me." I headed off their bickering. "Don't you have enough clothes?" Brittany smacked him lightly on the arm. "No woman ever has enough clothes, but she needs a wedding dress, you dolt." "Ah. Wedding shopping. Did you find what you were looking for?" "No, I'm starting to fear we're going to have to go out of town to find anything." "Don't give up yet, I saved the best for last," Brittany gloated. "We have one more stop." That wasn't what I'd wanted to hear. I was already tired, and I wasn't looking forward to looking at more dresses I didn't like. I took a deep breath and let it out slowly, forcing myself to let go of some of the tension in my body. After the waitress took our order, Brittany excused herself to use the restroom. Once she was gone, I turned to Rain. "Devon sent you, didn't he?" He shrugged. "Maybe." I let him know we were going to be shopping, and Gavin was at the house when Britt surprised me this morning. I have no doubt they've had someone outside watching out for us the whole time. "No doubt, especially since you figured out what you and Annie have in common." His voice was calm, though his eyes scanned the small room for anyone who might be a threat. Word travels fast. I knew only Devon could have told him that I'd finally made the connection. Can't really blame him. I want those killers off the street too. Especially if they're a danger to you. I started to make a smart-ass remark, but stopped when I saw Brittany on her way back. I nodded in her direction to let Rain know she was there. She joined us at the table, and we chatted while we waited for our food. When we were finished, we paid the bill and Rain went back to work while Brittany and I continued our search. The shop she'd been saving for last was different from the first two. It was less of a bridal shop and more a formal and semi-formal dress shop. We looked at dresses that would be better suited to balls and proms than to a wedding, plus several more wedding dresses. I even tried on a few, all without finding anything I wanted. I felt like I was being fussy and hard to get along with, but I just didn't care for anything we'd seen. I didn't know what to do. Mom had offered me her dress, but she's several inches shorter than I am, and when she'd gotten married, she was positively tiny. There was no way, even if there was enough extra material to let her dress out, it wouldn't ever fit me right, though I appreciated the offer. I was tired and depressed as we made our way out of the store. I wasn't looking forward to making a trip to Tucson soon to find a dress. I'd made it to the door and turned to say something to Brittany when I spotted it. It was on a mannequin in one corner, probably the only corner we hadn't visited. I did a double take and knew as soon as I got a good look at it that if the size was right, I'd found my dress. I found it. I blurted. What? Brittany sounded as if she didn't believe her ears. I found it. We've looked at everything in here, you didn't like anything. We didn't look at everything. I headed for the dress, Brittany close behind me. The salesgirl spotted me moving, not for the door but farther into the store and headed for us. Can I help you with something? She offered again. That dress on the mannequin, do you have it in my size? I said. She followed my look to see the dress in question. I'm not sure, let me check. She checked the tag on the dress and went to the back, coming out a few minutes later with another dress. Try this one. She handed me the one she'd brought from the back. I put the dress on and stepped out of the dressing room for Brittany's opinion. What do you think? I was already more than half in love with the dress. It's not traditional, but it's you. Far more you than anything we've seen today. I like it. She motioned for me to turn so she could see the back. Mom's going to take some convincing, but it will be worth it. I looked in the angled mirrors, where I could see it from several sides. I think I've got the perfect jacket too. I turned and looked over my shoulder to see the back. What about shoes? She asked. I'm thinking boots. I have a pair just a few shades darker than this, they match the jacket I have in mind. Underwear? She asked. I'll take care of that. I already had something in mind, but I didn't want to talk about it in the middle of the store. I turned to the salesgirl, hovering out just out of our way. I'll take it. She nodded and smiled. Great. I changed back into my own clothes and waited while she packed the dress. We left the shop and Brittany took me home and dropped me off before going to pick up her kids from Mom. Brittany took my new dress with her, so we wouldn't have to worry about Devon seeing it.